Good evening and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. Senator Andy Uba has emerged winner of the governorship primary election of the All Progressives Congress in Anambra State. Uba emerged winner in the primary election contested by 13 other aspirants. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
48 votes.
The chairman of the APC Anambra State Primary Election Committee and governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, said Senator Uba polled 230,201 votes out of the total votes of 348,490 to defeat his closest rival, Ononwoku John Bosco, who polled 28,746 votes. Governor Abiodun said election took place in 20 out of the 21 local government areas in the state, noting that election could not hold in Onitsha South due to the failure of the returning officers to conduct the election after collecting election materials from the committee's secretariat. The governor further disclosed that an option A4 method was adopted in the election and blamed the delay in the conduct of the election as scheduled on the failure of the contestants to supply 30 of their representatives as directed by the committee. He said only 9 aspirants supplied their representatives to the committee as at 9 a.m. on Saturday. Governor Abiodun explained that despite the minor hiccups, returning officers backed by security escorts were posted to all the 326 wards in the state, declaring that the process was free, fair, transparent, and in line with the party's guidelines.
By the authority vested on me by the National Caretaker Committee of the All Progressive Congress, as the chairman of the Anambra State APC 2021 governorship primaries, I hereby declare Dr. Andy Uba the valid winner of this 2021 Anambra State APC governorship primaries.
The election committee chairman, however, debunked insinuations from some of the contestants that the exercise was deliberately delayed, pointing out that his committee only needed to be thorough and transparent. Meanwhile, the state publicity secretary of APC in Anambra State, Okelo Madukaife, in a statement wants the Governor Maimala Buni-led caretaker committee to conduct a fresh governorship primary in Anambra State on Tuesday, June 29, 2021, as the one scheduled for Saturday, 26 June 2021, allegedly did not hold. This, the statement said, is necessary as proposed by the leader of APC in Anambra State and Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
In a related development, Mr. Valentine Ozigbo has emerged the winner of the PDP Anambra State governorship primary election held in Awka. He pulled a total of 62 votes to beat his closest rival, Obiora Okonkwo, who scored 58 votes. Joy Ilegbu reports that the primary was held under tight security.
The People's Democratic Party PDP primary election, which was held at the Anambra State Women Development Center in Awka, had 218 superdelegates from the 21 local government areas of the state, including 11 out of the 16 aspirants of the party. Before the commencement of the exercise, 3 of the aspirants had stepped down for various reasons.
They are Atiaba Emeka Benson, SAN, stepped down. Dr. Tony Okechukwu also stepped down. Izerebe Marcelinus Chukwu Meze also stepped down.
After accreditation of delegates and voting proper, Mr. Valentine Ozibo emerged as winner with 62 votes to defeat his closest rival, Dr. Obiora Okonkwo, who polled 58 votes in the keenly contested election.
Hereby declare Mr. Ezebebo Valentine Chinato as the winner of the PDP Anambra gubernatorial primary election.
Given the transparency of the process, it will be easy for us to come together as one, and with that, you will begin to see the power of PDP.
Meanwhile, another faction of the PDP, led by Chukwudi Umeaba, also elected Senator Ugochukwu as the party's flag bearer in a parallel primary, which had 5 out of the 16 aspirants in attendance. In Awka, Joy Iluebu, NTA News.
Away from Anambra State elections now, women, especially those in the rural communities, have been challenged to participate actively in governance by contesting elective positions during general elections. This was contained in a message by the National Orientation Agency in a sensitization program to promote effective women participation in electoral process and governance. Kenneth Nanim reports.
The outcome of the 2019 general elections in the country shows that women, despite their large population, are not yet well represented in elective positions. In a bid to ensure better sensitization of women on their impact on the electoral process from the grassroots to the national podium, the National Orientation Agency mobilized women across board in the Jukoi satellite town of the FCT as part of its rural mobilization and orientation program.
We believe that the women involvement in the electoral process and governance should start from the grassroots. So the effort is to go and register to any political party of your choice and start to grow from there.
The Enlightenment campaign also reminded women of their great contributions in the home front and their invaluable efforts in nation building.
A woman can equally be a chairperson or chairman of the local government, even president. So it is time for women to come up and participate in politics.
It's just to encourage them as well to bridge that gap of inequality when it comes to women, to gender and governance.
The women sought the support of relevant stakeholders and the level playing ground to key in and turn their potentials to actual impact.
I am capable for it to join, but I don't know where to join. But for now, we don't see somewhere now.
So what I learned so far is encouragement for we as a women to get up.
For the National Orientation Agency, the 2023 general elections gives Nigerians another opportunity to strengthen democratic ideals and open more channels for inclusion in different strata of society. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Since inception of constituency projects in Nigeria, there have been allegations of mismanagement of funds and quality of the projects involved. This and other factors have painted members of the country's legislature in bad light. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports that the situation led to a one-day retreat in Abuja for Kaduna State legislators of both national and state assemblies.
Deepening citizens' interest in government spending to address allegations of corrupt practices is the aim of the retreat at the instance of MacArthur Foundation and Connected Development Organization. Minister of State for Budget and National Planning Clem Agba is optimistic that the forum will help in the enhancement of budgeting system and citizens' participation.
Opponents
transparency, and responsiveness are key to retaining and rebuilding citizens' trust in government.
I'm sure it tallies with what the legislators do in terms of oversight function.
The need for feedback from the constituents, lack of project assessment by the constituents, and access to bill of quantity by constituency tracking groups are some of the challenges identified at the retreat that must be addressed.
In Kaduna, we've been able to track about 81 projects valued at over 5 billion naira. This includes about 26 constituency projects and 55 executive projects.
I hope we would create this forum for us to get feedback, and then people can get back to you.
We also, serve like an eye-opener to other NGOs to also come up with such a lofty idea.
Our interest is ensuring that citizens are able to contribute and participate.
As a desk to collect and analyze data, the forum is expected to be replicated in all the states of the Federation. In Abuja, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Abia State Governor Okeze Ikpeazu and his Kogi counterpart, Governor Yahaya Bello, have stressed the importance of a united and indivisible Nigeria against the call by some groups for its disintegration. The two governors reaffirmed this commitment at the government house, Umuahia, when Kogi State Governor came calling. Kingsley Ononiwu has the details.
Both the visiting Kogi State Governor, Yahaya Bello, and his host, Governor Okeze Ikpeazu, made it clear that Nigeria as a nation must remain united and indivisible, notwithstanding its present challenges. They added that what unites Nigerians is far better than what divides them. They therefore caution groups seeking for dismemberment of the country to shield their sword in the overall interest of the nation.
Nigeria can never divide because of certain practices of the past. We can have differences, skirmishes here and there, which by the grace of God, as time passes by, we shall correct them, and Nigeria will remain together.
We must remain a united country because that is indeed all we have as a country. And I must say that God who has brought us together and so vastly and richly endowed us individually and collectively would not have done all of that in vain. There must be a reason and a purpose, and that is to lead Africa. And the stronger, together we are stronger. And I join your voice in saying that a stronger, united one Nigeria is the goal of every well-meaning person, even from this part.
The two governors also appealed to Nigerians to live in peace with one another, irrespective of tribe, region, and religion. In Umuahia, Kingsley Ononiwu, NTA News.
Nigerians domiciled in the country and those in diaspora have been told to always explore all avenues that promote peace, unity, and stability of the nation. Wife of the Akwa Ibom State Governor, Martha Udom Emmanuel, in an early morning prayer session, echoed this in Uyo. Emediong Umar reports that she maintained that there cannot be any meaningful developments in crisis situation.
The nation's first lady and wife of president had recently mandated women nationwide to engage in fervent prayer to God to restore peace in the country. This prayer session became imperative given the seeming show of distrust, misunderstanding, and insecurity in parts of the country, which threatened the peaceful life of the people. Wife of Akwa Ibom State Governor Martha Udom Emmanuel, who led the prayer session, referencing some biblical portions, decried the incessant unrest and killings in the country and urges women to rise up in prayer for God's intervention. The governor's wife charged women not to relent in supplication for the peaceful coexistence of the nation as prayers shines God's light against darkness. NTA News.
Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has reiterated President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to rewrite history in the Niger Delta region by rebuilding access to services and infrastructural development. Senator Akpabio was speaking when he met with the chargé d'affaires of the Embassy of Ireland to Nigeria, Mr. Conor Finn, who paid him a visit in Abuja. The minister noted that since the discovery of oil in Oloibiri, Bayelsa State, the people of Niger Delta region have lived with violence, militancy and deprivation, as well as pollution in many areas that have oftentimes led to the destruction of aquatic life. The chargé d'affaires of the Embassy of Ireland to Nigeria, Mr. Conor Finn, commended efforts by the federal government at repositioning and curbing extremism within the region and pledged Ireland's commitment to partner the ministry to provide sustainable development in the Niger Delta region. Now it's time to join Adeola in our Lagos Network Center for the continuation of Nationwide, where I understand there are bags of shining stories there. Hello, Adeola.
Hello, Aya. Good to see you. Indeed, we have bags of shining stars here. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has taken a bold step towards ensuring financial autonomy of the legislative arm of government with a view to addressing issues that resulted in the recent strike called off by the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria. This was demonstrated when he signed into law 3 bills, including Lagos State House of Assembly Service Commission Bill. Musa Toliat has details.
The 3 bills signed into law are the amended Lagos State House of Assembly Service Commission Bill, the Lagos State Sports Commission Bill, and the amended Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission Bill. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu reiterated that laws, especially the Sports Commission law, will further give impetus to sports development and provide a viable alternative to criminal tendencies.
We and the executive will continue to see the independence of the legislature as given. The second one regarding our sports and our sport ministry and our sports commission is really to deepen sport activity in the state.
Speaker, Lagos House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Abasa, who was in attendance to witness the event, stressed that the move to amend the laws was born out of the commitment to enhanced working relationship between the executive and legislative arm of government in the state.
The 3 laws are very good for the progress of the state and the people of the state. As we are all aware that in Lagos State, we have very strong collaboration between the House and the Executive, and this has tremendously helped governance in Lagos State.
The governor, however, assured Lagos residents that no efforts will be spared to ensure good governance is sustained in the state. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
The increase in cases of gas explosions involving tankers laden with liquefied petroleum gas is one that has not gone unnoticed by the Federal Road Safety Corps Lagos Command, as well as other road traffic accidents. Our Yusuf Jibo reports that efforts to address this worrisome trend informed the strategic collaboration between the Federal Road Safety Corps and sister agencies in Lagos.
Available statistics by the Federal Road Safety Corps shows that a total of 650 tankers and trailers were involved in road crashes, leading to loss of lives and over 39 billion naira in 2018. The sector commander FRSC Lagos, Olusegun Ogungbemide, revealed that traffic crash incidents involving tankers conveying dangerous and inflammable substances such as gas and premium motor spirit, containerized trucks, and other articulated vehicles could be avoided if operators of these vehicles operate in compliance with the minimum safety standards prescribed by the Corps.
The FRSC, drawing from available statistics on the number of RTCs involving these categories of vehicles, has put in place strategic measures to stem the unhealthy ties, one of which is the Safe to Load program.
Other road safety and road maintenance agencies present at the event unanimously agreed that the attainment of a safe motoring environment is everybody's responsibility.
As long as we sit back
and worry about the repercussions of those that have vested interest in this anomaly, then we are all in trouble.
We need to put the actions into place that will see citizens be able to drive and go about their business safely.
All traffic and road safety management agencies in the state have resolved to work together to totally clamp down on all vehicles that are not fit to operate on Lagos roads. In Lagos, Awol Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA.
You're welcome back. Not a few were jolted by the recent cholera outbreak in the Federal Capital Territory, which has brought to the fore once again an urgent need to raise awareness on sanitation and hygiene. Asabe Tanimu Williams in this update spoke with a medical expert on the way forward.
Has remained a big health menace across the country, claiming no fewer than 289 lives between January and June this year. Statistics show that 11,000 suspected cases have been reported, with 112 confirmed cases. The number of cases has increased with increased rain in the last 1 month, while the most affected states are Plateau, Bauchi, Gombe, Kano, Zamfara, Bayelsa and Kaduna. In the Federal Capital Territory, however, 7 people have so far been confirmed killed by this disease as at Wednesday.
Cholera is something that we all know, definitely, through bad water and then maybe not proper environment and all of that. Definitely you're going to get that.
Despite the outbreak, but I would like to know about it.
I'm living in a community airport road here. In fact, it's very, very, very bad. The people who are living with them there, we are strangers reside with them, but their own water, if they bath, if they give you food as a stranger, you come there, you will not be able to eat.
Dr. Abdurrahman Sadiq lists symptoms to include severe crampings, diarrhea, vomiting and dehydration. He urges the public to dial these following numbers in case of emergency.
It is a seasonal when people defecate or in the open on the surface. Waters are contaminated at the peak of rainy season like this. It is washed into our surface water, and in some instances we witness the seaway water are used to as fertilizers or used in watering some veggies and even washing of fruits and roots, which can serve as the source of the infection. The most important thing is anybody presenting with diarrheal diseases of any form should please report to the nearest health facility and preferably also call the Department of Public Health.
The spread of cholera is ignited when the environment is dirty, when water system is contaminated, and when sanitation is not taken seriously. Investigations shows that in parts of the FCT, rural dwellers are left to rely on streams as the only source of drinking water. One major factor that has worsened the outbreak of cholera in the country is open defecation, which pollutes sources of water. Asabe Tanimu Williams, NTA News.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has confirmed 35 new cases of COVID-19 in the country. A breakdown shows that the new cases were reported in 4 states. Lagos has 30 cases, which is the highest, followed by Kwara, while Gombe and Kano have 1 case each. The 35 new cases bring the total number of confirmed cases to 167,465, as 163,946 cases have been treated and discharged, and 2,119 deaths have been recorded so far in the country. The International Labour Organization's country director, Vanessa Fowler, has tasked Nigeria to take advantage of a new elevation to the governing body to work to harmonize position of the tripartite constituents towards attracting technical assistance as the ILO prepares to complete its biennial program and budgets. This was during a discussion on Nigeria's progress on the review process of obsolete labor laws and efforts to present new bills to the National Assembly. Emmanuel Ayimiro reports.
It is the end of International Labour Organization biennial system, and member nations are already articulating a number of assistance from the ILO. So, interventions from the ILO are demand-driven. But such assistance is not without, in some cases, the fulfillment of certain requirements which the ILO director wants to know.
Mandate of the ILO.
Labour Minister therefore gave an update on the recently reconstitution of the National Labour Advisory Council, which is an attempt to review the labour laws and pass the bills to the Parliament.
At the end of the day, it's the ILO supporting the ministry. It's the ministry leading the implementation. It's the ministry leading the coordination, the facilitation, and the engagement on the ground, so that when the minister sits at the GB meeting, you are able to report on reports that you yourself as the minister and the ministry has been very involved.
Talking about the labour bills, we are aware that we pledged the technical assistant. We will need more assistance this time around. We need assistance in the procurement of consultants that will help us review. We need assistance in procurement of the people we call legal draftsmen.
Legal drafters.
Yeah, legal drafters.
Nigeria also made request for waiver on intellectual property rights for local production of COVID-19 vaccines. Emmanuel Ayimiro, NTA News.
Sokoto State benefits from COVID-19 intervention roads rehabilitation program. Details of this and more as we join Asmau in our Sokoto Network Center. Hello, Asmau. Good evening.
Ayodeji, and welcome to Sokoto. Motorists in Sokoto have appreciated the federal government's effort in road rehabilitation to boost the economy. The projects are being undertaken under the COVID-19 intervention program by the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency. Elhat Abdullahi has more.
The federal road from Sokoto to Gusau has had its fair share of potholes and bad portions, especially along Sokoto-Treta axis. This had caused road crashes over the years, leading to loss of lives and property. Tests being undertaken will, however, help reduce the carnage and improve the economy of the people.
The repairs of the road is very solid, and people are really appreciated.
That's a good improvement. Even the commuters, they can understand that.
And this is current administration has done a lot to see that they repair this road.
Other roads being undertaken under the federal government COVID-19 project include Sokoto Dam,
Our sincere apologies as we have to discontinue from our Sokoto Network Center at the moment. Let's go on the news now and also tell you that the Niger Delta Avengers are threatening to embark on economic sabotage through bombing of critical oil and gas installations unless certain demands are met. These demands include development of the Niger Delta and restructuring of the Federation. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President, Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says it is, however, curious that the threat was coming less than 48 hours after President Muhammadu Buhari met with the leadership of the Niger Delta and Ijaw National Congress at the presidential villa, and the germane issues had to be responded to, especially called for restructuring of the Federation and the inauguration of a board for the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. The statement also recalled the response by President Muhammadu Buhari assuring the leadership of the Niger Delta and Ijaw National Congress that the 10-point demand to the federal government is being addressed by his administration. President Buhari also acknowledged the rate of environmental degradation in the region and pointed to the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project, which has started work with remediation efforts in Ogoniland, of which he directed the Minister of Environment to ensure that the projects are implemented with high percentage of local content and inclusion of the surrounding communities. Sustained rigorous campaign for the growing populace on the dangers and effects of drugs and substance abuse have been identified as a panacea to stem the alarming rate of the ugly trend, which has posed serious challenges to the well-being of the society. This was the focus of people of vested interests meeting which was organized by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Niger State Command, to stem wave of crime in the state. Fatima Usman reports.
Nation's Office on Drugs and Crime Report 2020 indicates that 269 million people around the world use drugs, with further indices indicating a rise in the percentage of drug abuse. The menace is reportedly made worse by the rising cases of unemployment due to COVID-19 pandemic. This interactive meeting, which attracted heads of various security and paramilitary agencies, government representatives, and other concerned citizens, identified substance abuse as a causative factor to other crimes and tend to profile way forward. It also gave rise to the consensus that since drug and substance abuse have continued to threaten peace, security, and development of the polity, a robust synergy must be adopted among various stakeholders to tackle the menace head-on.
People are sensitized on the dangers of drugs abuse, many lives will be saved. As many who get involved in these activities do so out of ignorance.
And one of the legislatures that we need to look out for is how to regulate people just buying drugs, from our medical stores without, valid, doctor's prescription.
In the law enforcement perspective, 90% of our problems and of crimes is drug related. As for us as an institution, we shall continually partner with NTA to ensure a drug-free Niger State.
International Day of Drug Abuse, held on every 26th of June, was marked in Niger State with a road walk around major streets in Minna, the capital city, to raise awareness on dangers of drug and substance abuse in line with this year's theme of the celebration, Share Facts on Drugs, Save Lives. In Minna, Fatima Usman, NTA.
In their quest to rid the society of drug abuse and illicit trafficking, Federal Medical Center KEFI, in collaboration with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA, KEFI Command, and KEFI Development Foundation KDF, have conducted a sensitization lecture to mark United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. Mohammed Sani Awalu completes the story.
The collaborative team, which comprised personnel of Federal Medical Center KEFI, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA KEFI Command, members KEFI Development Foundation, as well as students processed around KEFI Township, sensitizing people on the danger associated with drug abuse and illicit trafficking.
Drug abuse is a serious menace that, if you do not really take care of, can destroy a whole society.
Drugs is dangerous. Drugs kill. Drug is responsible for most of our problems in this country.
Really tell them what you heard today about drugs. By the time you share these facts about drugs, you have saved a lot of life.
We are calling on parents to please guide their children well. They should know the kind of friends their children are going out with.
Traditional rulers pledge to pass the message across to their subordinates at district and ward levels.
The purpose of this gathering is to enlighten ordinary people the dangers of taking drugs arbitrarily.
After this, we are going to talk to our people, the new development we have, so that we can have changes for the betterment of our society, for the betterment of our children.
Information is power. If knowledge is power, when you have full knowledge of something, the consequence is that you will avoid it.
The theme for this year is Share Facts on Drugs, Save Lives. From KEFI, Muhammad Sani Awalu, NTA News.
Abuse and
In another development, NDLEA Imo State Command is taking the fight to the domains of both users and traffickers in the state. Loretta Arinze Egwim reports that the commander, Nse Jack, who briefed journalists in Owerri as part of activities to mark this year's International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, says the measure has witnessed remarkable achievements.
Illicit trafficking has continued to pose a major challenge to governments the world over. In Imo State, it is known to have resulted in several deaths, especially among youths. Briefing newsmen in Owerri, the commander, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Imo State Command, Nse Jack, attributed the recent rise in insecurity and other social vices in the state to drug abuse. He says the efforts of the command through creation of awareness in the educational institutions across the state is yielding positive results, pointing out that from January 2021 till date, the command has arrested 60 drug suspects, out of which conviction has been secured for 8 with various jail terms. 48 drug users, he further says, were cancelled, while 2 out of the 15 drug-addicted persons admitted by the command have been rehabilitated and discharged.
We also seized 664.936 kilograms of hard drugs, comprising of cannabis sativa, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and tramadol. The federal government Special Border Task Force also transferred 4,784 kilograms of cannabis sativa to the command during this period. This is a demonstration of synergy among security agencies.
Some of the rehabilitated and reintegrated drug users stress the need to stay off drugs.
Because of drugs? Because of drugs. You're not taking because of drugs. Because when I was taking drugs, I couldn't have time to read. I couldn't comprehend. I feel fine because after staying here, I was able to go back to school. I've served, then I have a business now.
So when you are venturing into drugs, one, you are derailing yourself, you are derailing your society, and it brings bad name to the society, the family, the immediate family.
It is hoped that as the world continues to mark the day against drug abuse and illicit trafficking, the impact will indeed result in remarkable reduction in cases of drug abuse. In Owerri, Lorita Rinze-Wim, NTA News.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan says there is the need to continue to pursue goals geared towards improving the mental well-being of youth in the country for improved national productivity. He stated this when founder of the Albino Foundation paid him a visit in Abuja. Austin Anyebe reports.
The former president, who granted audience to representatives of different organizations, including Albino Foundation, said youths need support in the areas of mental health, as stability of minds is key for proper social integration.
Most people we see wearing, speaking good English, wearing good dresses, and moving about, whether men or women, are not mentally stable. And that's why people get to do a number of terrible things that you can't imagine that a normal person would do. So if a group is interested in that aspect of our society, it's quite interesting, and you need to be encouraged.
He said the quest for economic prosperity of Nigeria is hinged on skills development, saying his foundation is ready to support NGOs that work towards improving the socio-economic well-being of youths.
If young people could be taught on how to do simple, the issues look nice. And if you are doing this, and they are selling, even some of our young girls that hang around the streets, if they have this kind of skills to do, then they may prefer to do something else.
President of Albino Foundation in Nigeria, Jake Ekpele, says the visit to the former president is to find ways of collaboration, particularly as it prepares to hold a national dialogue on albinism.
It's just a way to get high-profile individuals to lend their voice on what we're doing and also speak on our behalf whenever they have the opportunity.
Issues on how to develop a national policy on albinism featured prominently in the discussions. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
Enugu State's government to partner voluntary organizations to sustain polio-free status, and Chineye is standing by in our Enugu Network Center for more reports. Hello, Chineye. It's good to see you.
Hello, Ayodeji. Many thanks and welcome to Enugu. To consolidate on the polio-free status of the state, the Enugu state government will continue to partner voluntary organizations involved in tackling humanitarian challenges, such as the wild polio virus. Deputy Governor Cecilia Ezilo stated this when she received the leadership of the Rotary International District 9142 in Enugu. Susan Eze has details.
Following the discovery of 46 new polio cases in 2017, Nigeria was delisted from the list of nations that have eradicated the wild polio virus. However, by the first half of 2020, the country regained its polio-free status, having been certified by the WHO and UNICEF. Representing Governor Ugwanye, the Deputy Cecilia Ezilo appreciated the contributions of the Rotary community in Nigeria, which promptly launched an anti-polio campaign across the country in collaboration with the Nigerian Governors Forum and other partners to achieve this feat. The organization, she said, has also been actively involved in humanitarian and philanthropic services in Enugu State.
Rotary partnered actively with the health system in the state over polio routine immunization, supplemental immunization, acute flaccid paralysis surveillance, and mop-up activities.
With focus on 7 areas of service, including peace and conflict resolution, sanitation and hygiene, economic empowerment, education and literacy, among others, District Governor-elect Oke Okonkwo believes partnering the government will ensure greater success in changing lives.
Your Excellency, we invite the government of Enugu State to join us in this movement and to join us and partner with us to ensure that such projects done locally in our communities here and beyond become a success.
Team was in Enugu to formally present the District Governor-elect to the Enugu State Governor. Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
To formulate rules of practice and procedure applicable in the family court at both high and magistrate court levels, the Enugu State Judiciary has unveiled the Enugu State Family Court Civil Procedure Rules 2020. Chika Ugu reports that the forum was also organized to verify and authenticate the proposed criminal code law of the state.
This is the result of a collective hard work of distinguished legal practitioners in the state, constituted in line with the Child's Rights Law of Enugu State 2016 to set up the Enugu State Family Court Civil Procedure Rules 2020. The court is expected to help family members in the resolution of disputes, especially as it affects children.
We also have interstate adoption license format, which no other state has that format. It's provided in the law that we took time to develop it.
Meanwhile, with the changing needs and nature of persons in the society, it became imperative to review the criminal code law of the state, last reviewed in 2004. A total of 192 provisions were dealt with in the course of the review to ensure accuracy and unhindered access to justice.
The proposed law, to a large extent, brought together some existing provisions in applicable laws with respect to crime and criminal prosecution, which is an improvement that would help reduce the stress on criminal justice stakeholders.
Relevant key players commended the state government and the judiciary for taking the bold step to end all forms of violence against children. It is expected that the newly unveiled Enugu State Family Court Civil Procedure Rules 2020 will assist both the bench and bar in the conduct of proceedings in the family courts. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. Nationwide continues with Obehi in the Benin after this commercial break.
Welcome to Benin Network Center. The 6,000 barrel per day Edo Refinery and Petrochemical Company is soon to commence the first phase of its operations. Governor Godwin Obaseki was on a guided tour of the facilities located at Olugbo in the Gbobauka local government area of Edo State. Elizabeth Omoko reports.
The 6,000 barrel per day modular refinery is a key legacy project of the Governor Godwin Obaseki's led administration to recalibrate the state's own industrial base, birthed by a memorandum of understanding. The first phase of the refinery, completed within 2 years, has a capacity to refine 1,000 barrels of crude oil per day. Governor Obaseki is impressed by the progress made so far in spite of the disruption caused by COVID-19.
They have done the pre-commissioning with the Department of Petroleum Resources that have certified the refinery as okay. And what we have left now is to finalize the crude sales contract.
With feedstock being expected, the managing director said the facility is ready for full operations.
If we bring in crude today, we can produce tomorrow.
My people are ecstatic that such a project will go in no small measure to, the social economic development of Ologbodugdom.
There is no doubt that this project, if fully completed, will boost the industrial revolution quest of the state. From Ologbo in Ukpoboka Local Government Council, Elizabeth Amako, NTA News.
The Oba of Benin, Ewa II, has appealed to the British government and other multinational donors to help in the hub production of coronavirus vaccines in Nigeria. The Benin monarch was speaking when the British Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria paid him a diplomatic visit in his palace. Uduakobong Achibong reports.
The Oba of Benin, who decried what he described as one rate of Nigeria's population that have been vaccinated compared to the over 50% rate of the United Kingdom's population, met the appeal for help. He also asserted that the industrialization of Nigeria by the British government will help contain human trafficking.
So we should do what we can to support Nigeria and the rest of Africa countries. Establish a hub factory for the production of vaccines.
The British Deputy Commissioner in Nigeria, Llewellyn Jones, said he was in Benin to inspect the country's investment and to hold dialogue with NAPTIP officials and other activities. He appreciated the effort of the palace in the fight against human trafficking. In Benin, Uduakobong Achibong, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Ayodeji in Abuja.